Hello and welcome to the fourth video in this series of basic Premiere Pro tutorials. What we're looking at in this video is how to add and edit a title. So I've got my same clip that I've been working on in the previous videos. Obviously it is been put together really quickly, but I want it to be a trailer for Jurassic Park. So what I need to create is some sort of title that can appear. I'm just going to zoom out and click outside of my actual timeline at the moment. And there are a couple of ways to add a title. You can go down to your new item button, click on that and select title, or you can go right up to the top here and select title, new title, and I don't want this to be rolling credits at the end of a movie or anything like that. I just want a default still title. When you select that, it asks you the size of the title and some other things. Now, automatically that will be the same size as the clip that's in your timeline, so I just leave those settings alone. The only thing that I change here is the name of it. So for me, because I am making a trailer for Jurassic Park, I'm just going to call it very original Jurassic Park title, and then I'll hit OK, and then this next window pops up. This is the window that actually allows me to edit my title. I'm just going to drag it out, expand it a bit to make it a little bit easier to see what's going on here. So to create a new title in this window, it works very much like adding anything to Photoshop if you've worked with titles or the text tool in Photoshop before. So here you can see it's automatically selected the type tool. If I create a little box, it allows me to type into it. So again, I'm just going to create the title, and you've got all the options that you would expect in any title or text editor. So we can select all of these text and center it. I can also change the font, and I've got a whole bunch of options here. If you are adding new fonts, perhaps from dafont.com or anywhere else that you source fonts and install them to your computer, it will appear here as well. So we're just going to grab a very basic font. I've got options over here on the right to change the color. So if I want kind of that classic Jurassic Park yellowy type color, it's probably going to look terrible, but there it is. I can also change the size. This is actually really handy. I can either click in here and type a new size. So perhaps I want a little bit bigger, 120, and hit enter. Then it changes that. The other thing that's really cool, anything that's blue, if I hover my cursor over, it changes here. And if I click and drag right, I can slowly make it larger, and left slowly make it smaller. So I can actually forget about the exact numbers and just go by what my eye says. Now you can see that when we get beyond that box, the second part of the text actually moves down, and my box itself is not big enough to display all of it. But if I just change to my regular selection tool, hover over, I can actually expand that text box and make it as big as I want. The other handy thing is I've got these little guidelines, so I can perfectly center it. I can move it wherever I want, but for now I'm just going to have it sort of I might just put it dead set central. The other things that we can change in this, so we can manipulate what's called the leading and kerning. So the kerning is the space between letters, so we can have it sort of feel a little bit claustrophobic or a little bit more epic by dragging that out. And again, that sort of messed me up a little bit, so I'm just going to reset the kerning back. And we can change the tracking as well, which again expands things out. The leading, if I had lines on, if I had text on multiple lines, that changes the space between lines. So we have a whole bunch of different options that you can manipulate really quite easily. So I'm happy with my text at the moment. And this is the bit that feels a little bit awkward because any changes that I made here have been saved for me. So if I just get out of this window by clicking the X, I don't need to save or anything like that. So I just close that down, and you can see that my title has appeared down here in my project bin. And so just like I would with any piece of footage or a song or anything like that, to get this over into my timeline, all I need to do is click, drag it, and then place it. Now, I can place it at the end of my clips like that, and it just appears as another clip with a black background. Or if I actually decided to lift this up onto another channel, and if I move it back, let's say here, it actually appears over the top of my clip as if there's a transparent background. So that can be a really cool thing to do. Perhaps if, like I said, this is a trailer, so I could put actors' names there over the top of an actual clip of that actor themselves. It's important to know though that you need to put this at the very top, so video track 3, because say for instance if I had it down on track 2 and then I had another clip above it, what happens is that clip sits on top and actually blocks it out. So I'll just undo that. By the way, really handy tip for undoing anything, just Control Z in Premiere Pro lets you take multiple steps backwards. So you can hit Control Z, I think up to 100 or more times to undo anything that you have made errors with. So that's a really basic look of how to add some titles to Premiere Pro. Please continue to watch additional Premiere Pro tutorials in this channel. Otherwise, I hope that this has been useful. Thanks for watching.